Hey guys, and welcome back to another video with me, Brooklyn. So today is Martin Luther King Day, and I just wanted to come on here and wish everybody a happy holiday. I hope you all enjoyed yourself today. Hope you all did things that you wanted to do, in spite of everything that has been done to ruin this holiday occasion. In 2025, we can still celebrate and do the things that we want to do, how we want to do it, and enjoy ourselves, right? Hopefully without any repercussions. Now, here in my town, I've seen on Facebook a lot of people were complaining that our people did not put the parades and the activities together wholeheartedly, that they were whack. And a lot of other people did show up that are not, brown, but and they were there to help celebrate, but they just said that it was no effort put in. And at first I thought about it, I was like, I wonder why that happened. But then I said, well, some people are just tired. Some people are tired of all the negativity and the stress. It's been a hard year. 2025 was hard. A lot of things were slapped against you, slapped in your face, taken away, knocked down, pushed over, and people are just tired. So, they just probably just didn't feel like giving the effort. I don't know, but they were saying that it wasn't put together like it should have been. Normally they go all out. They have activities listed all over the place, and I really didn't see any of that, so I don't know. But I wanted to come on here today and show you all some soap. I love soap. I have a lot of soap, but I love soap that smells like, I love just body spray and perfumes and stuff and lotions and soap that smells like cookies and chocolate and pineapple. I like to smell like food. I don't know why. I guess I like to eat, but I love stuff that smells like food. So I went today, put an order in at Walmart, and I bought me some soap. I bought me 3 packs of Dove soap, and they're the holiday treats. The first one is called Cinnamon Pumpkin Pie. You get 2 per box. Cinnamon Pumpkin Pie. The next one is called Sugar Cookie. Again, you get 2 bars in the pack. And the third one is called Peppermint Bark. I got these 3, which is 6, right? They was a good price. They were cheap. And then I got some exfoliating scrub, cocoa butter scent from Soft Soap. And I got holiday cookie from Soft Soap. I cannot wait to try these. I have so many soaps, and I just add to the collection. I just switch back and forth and use stuff back and forth. So, guys, my last video, I'm going to try to pin it up here when I get time. But my last video I did, I believe it was fur coats from Shein. Oh, and I went and got my nails done today from the same little mom and pop nail salon. So I ordered the coats from Shein. I did a video of the fur coats from Shein, right? And I remember in the video I was telling y'all that I bought a hat. I bought a hat to go with the coat of many colors, right? So if I want to wear a hat that day, I can. If not, I won't. But if I want to, So they alerted me and told me that they had delivered the package and left it at my door. But for some reason, I got this funny feeling at work. I was like, that hat is not at my door. That package is not at my door. Somebody done got my package. It just bothered me all day. And so I didn't get home till late that night. And I got home, I pulled up, and sure enough, it wasn't at my door. So I was like, let me report this, that it was stolen. It was stolen. Somebody picked up my hat, blah, blah, blah. So it came to me before I put the complaint in that the package was in my mailbox. But when I looked at the order form on my phone, it said delivered to the door. So I contacted Shein, and Shein said it was delivered to my door. But it kept coming to my mind, it's in the mailbox. It's in the mailbox. But Shein kept saying it was at the door, and then that's what the alert said. So anyway, I put in for the refund, and 7 to 10 days I get my little money back for the hat. So today I leave to go get my nails done. I had to work my part-time job today, so I went and got my nails done. Checked my mailbox. How about it was in my mailbox? I said, now, Lord, I did not steal this hat because Shein was saying it was at my door. UPS said they dropped it at my door. But in my spirit, right, I was like, that hat is in the mailbox. I should have listened to my gut. That's that inner feeling when God be telling you something. Like, don't go that way. Don't date her. Don't date him. You know, turn around, go the other way. If I would have waited, then I wouldn't have had to put the request in for my refund. If I just would have, because it kept nagging at me. My spirit was telling me it wasn't at the door. But it didn't come to my mind until I got home to make the refund request that it was in my mailbox. And I was like, well, Lord, you should have told me it was in my mailbox when you told me it wasn't at my door. But I was like, Lord, I did not steal that money because it was me, Shein, and UPS. We were all looking at the same thing to the door. And they put it in wrong. So I'm going to open it while we're here on camera. But my point is, always follow what you feel. You know, if something is nagging at you, constantly just nagging, then you might want to follow that, because I could have saved some time. This is a nice hat. It's fur. It's white fur, satin on the inside, like a satiny feel. It's really nice. I'm gonna wear this with my coat of many colors. It's got the fur. It's nice. I got a black one like this somewhere. This is really nice. It's got some snaps back here. I guess you can adjust it. But it's a nice hat. It's so soft. I hate that I got a refund coming, but you know, they already put it in. I didn't steal this hat. I paid for this hat, but they said it was outside the door. So that's neither here nor there, you know. But my point is, if you have a strong feeling, a strong tug at you, follow that, you know, because 9 times out of 10, your intuition, your gut is right. Follow that, you know. So I just want to come on here and say hello to everybody and just give that little bit of encouragement. Follow your gut. If your gut is nagging at you, follow it. I've had so many situations like that, and sometimes I followed and sometimes I didn't follow. You know, I have been going to stores and I get a funny feeling not to go into that store. And then 2 days later, I found out they had somebody was shooting. The store got robbed. Or sometimes I don't listen. I go in, I run into somebody who we don't get along. We wind up arguing. If I just would listen to the, you know, to your gut. You have to listen and follow. That's the Lord giving you that unction not to do something or to do something. You know, like the other day, I was just laying there thinking, and something came to my mind for me to do. And I was like, now I've been thinking about this for a while, but I wasn't interested in doing it. I really wasn't interested in doing it. And then it came to my mind Saturday to try. So it just kept nagging at me. So I'm trying to do some things. You know, you have to do some things to better yourself and to excel. You don't want to stay in the same position for the rest of your life. You have to step out. You know, and I told the Lord, I said, you put us down here to succeed, to be successful, not to just do the same things every day. Go to work, come home, pay bills, go to work, come home, pay bills. You gave us talents and you gave us gifts, you know, not to just sit in the same position all the time. So I'm trying to step out. Now, if it work, then I know that that came from above. If it don't work, then that was Tracy. You know, I always, if something come to me, like in this particular sense, where it's for me to do something to do more and better myself, I always give myself a 2-week grace period to see if anything changes, if I get a different feeling, if it starts feeling not right, then I don't just jump into it. When it's something that's going to be life changing, you need to really don't just jump into it. Like I had an unction about the hat, right? But when you're doing life changing situations, you need to, it may come to you, Lord may give you an idea, right? And tell you to go start a business. But you want to make sure that it's him and not just you, because you don't want to jump out there and fail. Because if he tells you something, if he tells you something, you're not going to fail. It's not going to fail. It may be a fight, because the devil going to fight you because he don't want you to exceed. He don't want you to excel. So he's going to fight you, but in the end, you will succeed, right? But a lot of times we jump into things and then we mess it up. So I always give myself a grace period. Like that came to me. So I give myself 2 weeks to see if anything changes. And then if it does change, then I won't do it. If it don't change, then I'll go forward with it, because it's good to try to get your education, try to get knowledge. The Bible speaks of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He don't just want you to be a doofus for the rest of your life. The word of God says that his people perish for the lack of knowledge. That means you need to stop sitting around being a dodo bird and get you some education. You can take classes online. You can do, they got all kind of free courses. They got all kind of things that you can do to help you build yourself. I mean, I'm educated. I went to school, okay? But it's always more. It's always more. King Solomon, he prayed. The Lord asked him, what did he want? He said he wanted wisdom and he wanted knowledge to be able to rule over God's people the right way. He was the wisest man. There's never going to be another man as wise as King Solomon. Never. Because he asked God to give him wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. When I was in high school, I had a hard time all my life in math. I could read my butt off. I could write papers. I can do all that, no problem. All my papers, A's and B's. I've written papers for other people to go to college, A's, right? But when it comes to math, I'm like, Lord, I can't count. Something wrong with me. I cannot do this math. And so we was taking our year-end test to graduate. And I had been failing math all year. I failed math all through my school days. If I got a D, I was lucky. So I was like, I'm not going to graduate, because at this particular time, they was like, if you don't pass these end of year classes, you don't graduate. And I was like, I'm going to be left back. So I was like praying, right? I was like, Lord, please, right? And so I was just like, I was in high school and I was like, I'm just going to pray and read my Bible, because I didn't know how to study for no math, because I wasn't good at math. So that's all I did. I do my homework and stuff, and I read a little chapter in the Bible and I pray. Lord, please help me pass. Please help me pass. So when it was time for us to take the test, they gave us that booklet. Them numbers was jungled up. I could not do no multiplication. I did not know how to do fractions. I mean, I could do the basic stuff, but when the fractions started getting harder and then the numbers was more bigger to multiply and divide, I would freak out. I didn't know what to do, and we was on a timer. I just started filling in bubbles. Filling in bubbles. That's all I did. I just filled in bubbles. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, I know I failed that test. So time went on. We went on, turned the test in. We went to class and everything like that. And next thing I know, about a week or so later, the teacher came and called everybody one by one out the class to give them their score. And I will never forget it. I made an 88. I started screaming. I was screaming because every answer in that booklet was guessed. I did not work out anything. Matter of fact, I was one of the first students finished with the test because I just filled in bubbles. And he let me fill in enough bubbles to get an 88. And then I'm like thinking now, well, you didn't help me cheat, but you could have gave me 100. We never satisfied. I'm like, why you give me like a 98. I got an 88. I was in the hallway screaming. My teacher name was Miss Harold. And she was like, okay. I said, passed it. I got y'all, I got a 88 on that math test. Yes, a 88. I was like, oh my God. So he wants us to have wisdom and knowledge and understanding. You have to ask for it. I asked him to help me pass the test. So when I went to college, I still was having trouble with math. And I was like, Lord, I need to get out this math class. I can't do the math. That teacher broke that math down so easy. I was like, all these years I was struggling. I had the wrong teachers. It wasn't me, because he broke it down so quick. He said, it doesn't matter how you get the answer, just as long as your answer is right. And he showed me an easy way to get the answer. See, a lot of times when people teach you, they want you to do it their way. And their way sometimes is difficult. And that's how my teachers were in the past. They were difficult. But he gave a simple method. And I was like, oh my God. And I was just breezing through his class. And after that, I wasn't having any more troubles with it, because I had to figure out how to do it a simple way. You know? So that's knowledge, and that's understanding, and that's wisdom. You know? So we have to get extra learning. There's nothing wrong with it. Even if you don't use it, even if you don't go to college, right, to use it for a job or something, it's still good to be smart. So nobody can pull nothing over on you. They can't pull the wool over your eyes. They can't tell you it costs $50 when it only costs $20. They can't tell you nothing. You know how to read and comprehend. People can fool you and rob you if you, I'm not even going to say illiterate, if you ignorant and just don't want to be told, don't want to be taught, don't want to be educated. Some people are just illiterate. They just didn't learn. They may have a disability, maybe could not afford to go to school. Some countries have to pay to go to school. Like Africa, they have to pay for all their schooling. So they choose the older child. Unless their family have money, only person that goes to school is the older child. And then they come home and teach their siblings what they learned, because they have to pay from primary all the way up through college. We got public school, so we can go free. And then we got Pell Grants and stuff over here. I think we still got Pell Grants, you know, I don't know. But we get education free. A lot of countries don't do that. You have to pay. So some people just are unfortunate, and they may just be illiterate, right? But then you have people who are just ignorant and just don't want to learn. They just want to be stupid all their life, and then they think they know everything, and it's just wrong. And you try to tell them, they just don't want to listen. They don't want to hear. That happened to me the other day. I was talking to somebody, and we were discussing, it was numbers involved, and I knew the answer was right, and they kept saying another answer. And I was like, that's not right. And they was going back and forth. So I Googled the answer. It was the same answer I came up with. Then I took the calculator, and I did it. It was the same answer. They kept telling me, well, this is not what I got, but that's what I mean when I say ignorant. You just don't want to listen. I gave you the answer. Google gave you the answer. And then the calculator gave you the same answer. You got the wrong answer, and you still saying yours right. It don't pay. Sometimes you need to listen. Then the same person comes to me later for me to read a letter for them, they personal mail, because they couldn't comprehend. And I'm just saying, if you're having a hard time comprehending, that's understanding. Be humble about it. But don't get to the point you're so cocky. Oh, I know it. And then come to find out you're wrong. Because then when I was doing the math problem, it was like, oh, yeah, that's not what I was. Yeah, you was wrong. So you need to be humble in your ignorancy. Okay? And even if you are illiterate, it's still not too late if you're capable of learning, because you have some people with intellectual disabilities that can't comprehend reading and math and things like that, right? They have something wrong in the brain. But then you have some people that have nothing wrong in the brain. They just didn't pay attention to school. It's still, after a certain age in life, you should want to go to school and learn something, just your basic alphabet and your counting from 1 to 100. You don't want people to be able to get over on you. My uncle had a friend. He's a family friend. He's like an uncle to me too. I've been knowing him all my life. And he couldn't read or write. He was illiterate. And my uncle would help him with his money and help him and make sure nobody gypped him and things like that. You know, that's good when you got somebody who you can trust to do that, because everybody you can't even trust to do that. They will take advantage of you. They'll write a check for $200 and give you $50. You know? So you have to ask for understanding and knowledge. So that's what I've been doing. You know, and you have to seek and ye shall find. You know, you can't stay in the same place forever. You're supposed to advance in life. You're supposed to move forward in life. I mean, that's basically what I do. I go to work, I go home. I go to work, I go home. I go on vacations and things like that. But for the most part, it's work, it's home. It's work, it's home. It's work, it's home. Pay bills, work, home, work, home, work, home. It's more to life than just going to work and going home. It's got to be something else out there. That's not what we were created to do, with just toil and sweat and then go home to be with your maker. And you haven't got anything, you know, no other enjoyment. You have the house, you have the car, you have the job, you have the clothes, you may have the spouse, you may have the children, you know, but the average person, I'm not talking about rich people, I'm talking about the average person. It's got to be more to it. And so I'm on a quest to find it. It's got to be something else that I can add to my resume. It's got to be, you know, and that's what I'm going to do, and pray and read and ask the Lord to lead and guide me. And that's all you can do. A lot of people don't believe that the Lord leads and guides you, but the word of God says, for those of us who are followers of Christ, the word of God says that he will direct your path, your footsteps. The steps of a righteous man are ordered by God. You know, a lot of times we're doing something and it turns out successful. That's because he led you to do that. He led you to do that. He told you to go that way. He told you to go that route. You know, it don't just be you. So we have to acknowledge that, you know. A lot of times people think it's in their power to make money. It's in their power to be successful. It's nothing's in your power, because you can crash out and don't have the power right now. You know, you can crash out and don't ever have the power to get up out your bed again. People take it for granted. How are you going to think it's in your power? It's not. Anything can happen. You have to have that mindset that it's something leading you and guiding you and taking care of you. The word of God says he reigns on the just as well as the unjust. So a lot of times we think, well, why they got this? Why they got that? They sinners, they ain't worshiping God, but he reigns on everybody, not just oxygen. He blesses them too. And a lot of people that don't even acknowledge God got more than what people that acknowledge God is. And you can't say everything comes from the devil. Some people just work hard and made the right decisions. That's all to it. And some of us didn't make the right decisions. You know, and you can't be mad at them. You can't sit around and be mad and you have to make a decision. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. We were talking about how people are jealous of other women, right? Like women are jealous of women. And I've never been that way. I've never been jealous of another woman, ever. I've never been jealous of another woman, because I've always felt that I can do just as good, if not better. I've never done that. Clothing, looks, hair, what they have, that I've never had that spirit, because it's a spirit. I've never had that spirit, right? And because it's a tormenting spirit, because you're constantly thinking about that person. You're constantly trying to keep up with the person, and you can't, because they're always going to be a step ahead of you, because when they go home, they come to work the next day or wherever it is, school, they're going to be different from what you are. And I remember it was a woman she was older than me. Her name was Regina. I never forget it. And we used to go get our hair done at the same beauty salon. She was always on point, makeup always on point, hair always on point, nails, nice car, nice wardrobe, and everything. And at that particular time, I was younger than her, but I wasn't as successful at that particular time in my life, you know. I mean, I had a nice, you know, a medium car. I had a nice apartment. I was in school, going to college. And but I was a single parent. She didn't have any children. And I had gotten divorced and I was a single parent. So I had to make sure I was taking care of my daughter and me. Money was tight. It wasn't doing right. I wasn't hardly getting no child support. I think he was paying like $35 a week. And that was you had to twist his arm and pull teeth to get that. And he thought he was doing a great big, that's a whole nother story. He thought he was doing something big when he was sending that $35 out. Oh my God. But anyway, long story short, I was not jealous of her. I admired her. And that just gave me a goal. It gave me a goal to, I can improve on my wardrobe. I can improve this. I can make sure I'm this. It wasn't envy. It wasn't jealousy. That's how people should look at other people. It should be, you know, admiration, not jealousy and envy. It takes too much energy. It takes too much time. It takes too much of your time to keep that effort going. You know? So, I don't even know. That just came out. But I'm just saying, it just takes too much time to be envious and jealous, and that's an ignorant person, to be jealous of another human being when you can just get out there and work and do what you have to do. If you have to work 2 or 3 jobs to have what you want to have, that's what you need to do. Some people just work 1 job because they got it like that. Sometimes you have to work 2 and 3 jobs. You know? It's just, you have to just do. You have to do. You can't be mad at people because they're successful. Like I said, God reigns on the just as well as he do the unjust. He reigns on both. You know? He just does. The ones that get the stuff the right way. Now, if you're getting the stuff the wrong way, knocking people down to get to the top, then you'll have to reap that. That's a whole little story too, because some people are just in positions that they shouldn't be in and holding office that they shouldn't be holding and got it the wrong way. And that's how they're being successful. God had nothing to do with that. I'm talking about people who are just going to school, getting their education, doing it the right way. You can do things the right way and you just have morals and discipline. You know, you just have morals and you just have discipline in your life, and you may not be a Christian, but you just made the right choices. Then you got some people who just take it from people and step on people. That's where God frowns, because then you reap what you sow. And people don't believe that either. A lot of people just don't believe it. You know how people just do anything that they want to do, and it's just really, really wicked. And then you say, well, do you believe in God? Yes, I believe in God. Well, not really, because if you did, you would be afraid to do the things that you're doing. So you believe in him, you know he exists, but you're not afraid. Which means you don't respect him. Because a lot of stuff that people do, they would be too afraid to do it if they really believed that there was a God. If they really believed that there was a God, they wouldn't do half the stuff that they're doing. I'm telling you. So that's when you know who believes in God and who doesn't believe in God. Just because somebody tells you that they believe in God, your actions show it. Your actions show what you really believe in. Because if you believed in God, you know that he's swift. And you reap what you sow. So when you're doing these evil things, that means you don't believe, because you just don't believe you're going to get it back. You believe you're going to actually get away with it. So you can't believe in him, because the word of God says that vengeance is mine, I will repay. God is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. What he said he will do. So if you're doing evil, you're going to reap it. So if you can't believe in him. You really can't. If you're talking about people and hating them, all of us do things. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But when you're doing things maliciously and out of malice and just smiling in somebody's face that you really don't like them, and being hypocritical and just running them down behind their back and talking about them, having hate in your heart for them. They don't even know it. And God frowns on that. So you can't really know who he is, because if you really knew who he was, you would not do those things. Now, I have people that I don't like, but I'm not hypocritical about it. They know I don't like them. I don't deal with them. I'll tell you, I don't like you. Don't talk to me. I don't hypocrite. But you have people that will smile in my face, hug me, and you just got the hug from Judas. You know it. It's just best to be honest about it. I remember there was a girl I used to work with. Me and her did not like each other. And I stayed away from her. She complained on me that I wouldn't talk to her. But everybody knew that she didn't like me. She wanted to hang around me, but she was only trying to hang around me to find out what was going on with me. Why would you want to be around somebody you don't like? This video is just all over the place. I'm just saying things that is coming to my mind. Be careful. You have to be knowledgeable about your enemies too. That's wisdom. That's knowledge. And understanding the enemy. The enemy will sit in your face and break bread with you and be plotting. They lay on their bed at night and they plot. So you have to be wise. Wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. You can be smart without letting your right hand know what your left hand is doing. You got to be wise, And when she would come and sit and talk to me, because, basically they forced me. They was like, well, you got to be sociable. I was very careful of the conversations that I had with her, and they were very minimal. Very minimal. And you can see it on my face that I'm looking at her like, why are you even coming over here? But you got sick people. You got people that just sick in the head like, I hate them. I want to be. Why? I never understood that either. Why? If I don't like somebody, I just don't want to be around them. I never understood how it was known basically to the world that she couldn't stand me. But it's like because I wouldn't talk to her, it made her more mad. But I just felt like we don't like each other. We stay with. It's the best. It's the best to do. It's just crazy. But anyway, like I said, you need to get some wisdom, some knowledge, some understanding. Don't stay in the same place all your life. Do not stay in the same place all of your life. You have to grow. Even in your relationship, just say you're married, right? If you got married and then 10 years down the road, you cannot be the same person. You have to grow. So the same person that your husband was dating when you were 22, you surely ain't the same person now that you're 33. You have a different husband, a different wife as time go on, and it should get better. You should have learned some things. You should be having some understanding of some things and wisdom how to handle situations in your relationship that you didn't know how to handle when you first got with the person. Surely you cannot be the same or go backwards. You should be, surely you have to be not of a 22-year-old brain anymore. You should be having a 33-year-old brain. And then on and on and on. So your marriage should be growing and it should be better. It shouldn't be the same. Your husband should be seeing a different woman, a more mature woman, a more a wise woman, a knowledgeable woman. And you should see the same thing in your husband. A wise man with some wisdom and some knowledge. It shouldn't be you going over the same thing with them every time you turn around when it comes to a bill or it comes to the house cleaning or getting up, going to work. It should not be the same from your beginning of your marriage to the middle. It should not be the same. It should be, well, when we first got married, had a hard time with him putting the toilet seat down. 10 years later, he's still leaving the toilet seat up. Knowing that makes you angry. Or your wife leaving her pantyhose hanging on the shower rod. You don't like that. Y'all first got married, she was doing that. It's 10 years down the road. So she's still doing the same thing. Y'all still arguing about the same thing. You should grow, is what I'm saying. Your life should not stay in the same position. It should not stay in the same position. It needs to change. If you are, just look at your situation. Has it changed? Has it gotten any better? If it's the same thing year after year after year after year after year, and you are not elevating, you need to sit down and get you a book and write down what's going on. Write down what's going on, the cons of your life and the pros of your life. Write it down. What's hindering you? What's keeping you from excelling? If you know you need a car, right, but you working, you can't afford it, then why would you not get a second job? Or if you staying in a hotel because you can't afford an apartment and it's been 5 years now, what's going on? Are you staying, but you want to move? You don't want to always be in a hotel. You want to have an apartment, but you still can't do it. Sit down and figure out what's going on. It should be it should be a change. It should be a change in your life is what I'm saying, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to end this video. I hope you all have a nice week ahead, okay? And so I'm going to say vielen Dank. That's thank you very much in German. So vielen Dank for watching me. And choose, that's what? That's bye in German.